guys, I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Stephanie.
And we're
Sisters of the South.
Back with another true crime video for you today. But before we get started, we just want to remind everyone to please hit that like button if you like our video. Subscribe for more true crime content every week. And if you hit that little notification bell, it'll let you know when we have another video. And of course, we have to give a little shout out to our friends over at SoFly. SoFly.
Not so small.
Not no more.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let Stephanie tell you all about them now.
SoFly is a family-owned business here in the Houston, Texas area, and they specialize in engraving and in embroidery. So what they'll do is take an accessory such as a tumbler, cap, hoodie, t-shirt, purse, jacket, and they will specialize it to your needs. They can have an array of different colors, and they'll put your logo, your name, your initials, whatever you want on it to make it beautiful. So we use them for our merchandise. We know that you'll be happy, but we do want to show you a little video about just how badass they are. So here we go.
All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed that video. Go check them out. Let them know we sent you. And if you do buy something, please send us a picture. We'd love to see it. But with all of that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Stephanie to start with the story.
And we'll link their information in the description box below. So check them out.
Yes.
Okay, so guys, we got a story today, and it's a wild one. But before there was a Chris Watts, there was actually a guy named Chris Coleman, and we're going to talk about him today. Imagine being married to a man that you have devoted your whole life to. You've loved him, you've had children, slept in the same bed for numerous years, just to find out that he hates you. He hates the life he has with you so bad that he's willing to end your life along with your family that you have built together for years, just to be with another woman.
Why can't you just leave?
Just leave, right?
I mean, I would
Just
let him
leave.
go. I mean, if you don't want to be with me,
Hit the road.
go.
Right?
You're welcome to go.
You know, the bad part about this story is this other woman is someone that has been your friend since childhood. So imagine that.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
childhood friend, your husband. You think the two people that probably love you the most over your children and your parents. You tell them things. You talk to your best friend about your husband. You talk to your husband about your best friend, only to find out that they're both seeing each other behind your back.
Wow.
So how did this happen? How can someone just wipe their whole entire family off the face of the earth to start a new life? This is a question that will boggle minds for eternity. How do people get this dark? So Chris was born on March 20th, 1977 to Ron and Connie Coleman, both serving as pastors, and hundreds of Christians from neighboring towns, black and white, young and old, filled their non-denominational church every week. The Coleman boys grew up speaking in tongue, code from the Holy Spirit, and basing decisions on quotes from Scripture. Their father preached clear teaching from the Bible, and there was always music, the kind that makes teenage girls sing at the top of their lungs and weep with the sheer joy of being loved. Amid all this outpouring, Chris was reserved. He was the quietest and most gentle of the three blonde, well-mannered Coleman boys. His mother says the worst curse words he's ever said in front of her is piss. So, I mean, I don't know if that means you're a good person. It just probably means you respect your parents. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, Charlie Mattingly, his junior high coach in basketball, baseball, and track, says you couldn't have asked for a better kid. He was very kind. He was a team player. I hardly ever saw him lose his temper. He went out one night and had drunk a little bit. His parents were out of town, and he felt so guilty he called his high school basketball coach and confessed. Chris wouldn't go hunting with his father, and the first time we butchered a rabbit, he was just beside himself, Connie remembers. When a Marine recruiter came to his high school, Chris came home with stars in his eyes, impressed by the way the guy carried himself. He signed up right after high school. Ron thinks he would have stayed in the service for life, except that Bill Clinton and Monica and all that was a disappointment, says his father. So, listen,
Okay.
at the end of the day, if you're dedicated to your country, it doesn't matter who the president is.
Well,
But he
yeah.
was young, so, you know. And he had met Sherry, Connie adds. Chris was 22, piling up military certifications and honors when they met. Sherry was 21 and MP in the U.S. Air Force. They were both studying at a canine training center in San Antonio, Texas. 3 months later, in August 1997, Ron stood at the window of the family home in Chester watching his son's car pull up. Connie, he called, he's got somebody with him. Chris introduced Sherry as a friend who lived in Chicago. He said he was going to run her home. We didn't pick up anything, Ron says, except she was a worldly little girl. Little short shorts, tattoos on her legs, not the person we thought he'd be with. Chris left to drive Sherry home and didn't come back. The next morning, the phone rang. His first words were, "Dad, you'll never believe what we did. We got married." Ron remembers, "I was quiet." Chris said, "Dad, you don't seem excited." I said, "Give me a few minutes." Chris realized right away that the marriage hadn't been godly. Ron adds, "My gosh, he was raised in church. He was repentant and broken over it." He said, "Oh, I just got caught up in the moment," Connie recalls. "We said, well, it's a lifetime. But we found out later that she was pregnant," Ron adds. So at this point in time, he goes and marries this ungodly girl, as his parents would put it. And it seems like his parents kind of put conditions on what kind of girl they want him to bring home. So he's already been set up for failure, no matter what happens. Even if it's the best person he could have ever married, his parents have already shown him they're disappointed in his decision.
Well, yeah. And I mean, things happen. You get carried away. That's
Hmm.
okay. I mean, you don't have to make him feel so guilty about it, you know?
Well, you can't help who you love, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't always have to marry a person that you fall in love with if they're not right for you, but there's nothing in this story that would make me think, "Ugh, why did he marry her? She had a lot of problems."
That girl with tattoos.
The tattoos on her legs
Oh,
and
jeez.
them shorty shorts, you know how them shorty short girls are. But they're already letting him know, "Look, she's a disappointment. Now we're disappointed in
Yeah, but
you."
they didn't know her.
Exactly. Invite her over for dinner or have a barbecue,
Your son loves her.
get to know
Maybe,
her.
yeah, maybe it'll be great.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I can understand being shocked. Like you get a phone call, your kid's married. Give me a second. Why wasn't I there? But,
yeah.
well, you've just ruined your life, son.
When they'd only met her
This
once.
tattooed girl that we don't know.
Well, they're preachers, and sometimes, unfortunately, in homes like that, it's all about appearances.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about the person that you are. It's who you show that you're supposed to be, you know. And
Yeah,
I
well,
feel bad for Chris Coleman in this situation because, he's just I guess you could say he did the right thing. I mean, she come up pregnant and he probably really deeply cared for her and he did what he thought was right at the end of the day and he married her. So,
hmm
but his parents at this point are giving conditional love and they're letting him know that he kind of crossed a boundary here and they're disappointed. So we're going to talk about Sherry Ann Weiss, and she was born July the 3rd, 1977 to Donald Weiss and Angela DeCirio. in Berwyn, Illinois, and moved to Pinellas County in the mid 1980s. She attended Mildred Helms Elementary and Largo Middle Schools. At Largo High, she was on the softball team. Sherry was a U.S. Air Force veteran, but beyond that, Sherry was fun, uninhibited, and wildly playful at 21 when Chris met her. 3 months later, she was pregnant and they married. She became a born again Christian, and 12 years later, she was devoting her time to their two sons, to their church, and mission trips.
See,
I
it
mean,
worked itself out.
right. And Chris Coleman probably had a hand in bringing her to the life that he wanted for his family,
Right.
you know? So Sherry threw herself into Destiny Church, the non-denominational congregation in West St. Louis County, where she and Chris worshiped. She organized trivia night fundraisers single-handedly, hosted lots of show up and buy something parties, went all out celebrating holidays with the kids, paid to have a friend's entire kitchen redone. She loved SpongeBob SquarePants, MASH reruns, and New Kids on the Block. Now, I don't know, but I'm
Me
already
too.
liking Sherry.
I do too. I love MASH and I love New Kids on the Block. So,
It sounds like someone you'd want to hang out with.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's doing the right thing by her family. She knows what she likes. As a young mother, she's doing what she needs to do, but sounds like she took a little bit of time to know who she was and stay true to herself. And that's very important when you're raising children because sometimes we can get lost in them.
Oh, it's easy.
Yeah, it's so easy. So it sounds like she did set some time apart just to recharge and maybe watch a little TV and listen to some fun music. And that's very important. It almost shows that she was well rounded and mentally healthy, is what it
Yes.
sounds like to me. She always made me laugh. She was hope in a bottle, says LaPlante, who used Natasha Bedingfield's Pocket Full of Sunshine as Sherry's ringtone. Sherry used Jason Mart's Lucky as a ringtone for Chris. I'm lucky in love with my best friend. Lucky we're in love in every way. She bought him presents when he was out of town and told people what a great husband he was. She only hated his job because it took him away from her and the kids. Photographer Shay Daniel, a good friend of Sherry's, took the now familiar portraits of the Coleman family, all wearing white, looking relaxed and happy and handsome enough to model for Ralph Lauren. She says they were comfortable with each other during the shoot, with none of the tensions of awkwardness that a lens can usually reveal. She describes Gavin as a bona fide firecracker, more like his mom, very animated and hilarious. He and Garrett were classic little boys, rambunctious and eager for fun, yet obedient and respectful to both their mom and dad. The Coleman family seemed to have a picturesque life. Chris Coleman had a highly paying job as head of security and a bodyguard to the world famous televangelist Joyce Meyer and making over 100,000 per year. He also had a beautiful and loving family. On May 5th, 2009, Chris called police and asked them to check on his wife, Sherry, 31, and their sons, Garrett, 11, and Gavin, 9. He was at the gym and she wasn't answering her phone. He was on his way back. The cops arrived and found the basement window open. Upon entering, they saw words like punished spray painted on the walls and soon found Sherry, Garrett, and Gavin had been strangled to death in their beds. Chris and his family had previously received several death threats from unknown people. Some of the threats were channeled to his boss, Joyce Meyer, intimidating Chris to quit his job. The threats continued to stream in, and by 2009, letters turned up on their doorsteps. Chris's neighbor was a police detective who had been informed about the threats. Chris arrived at the murder scene from the gym, but he was restrained from entering the house. Upon hearing that his wife and kids were dead, he only shed seemingly forced tears and never asked for any details about the murder. And, you know, hello, red flag. The first question I'm going to ask if I come to my house and they tell me that my family's dead in my house, I want to know what happened.
100%. But I also
Yes.
have to say this, it happens in so many stories. They're trying to get their stories started by, oh my gosh, I'm at the gym. She's not answering her phone. Well,
Mhm.
why are you even calling from the gym and worried about her? How long have you been at the gym?
Right. Right.
You're on your way home.
Yeah, why don't you just get home and check?
Uh-huh. See, that's
Mhm. He's setting the
he's setting the
stage.
stage.
Right, and it's so obvious, but they're so into themselves and their narcissistic
Oh, I'm just so
behavior.
worried about my wife that she hasn't answered in 45 minutes. I mean, you're on your, how far away are you and how long have you been there? Come
Well,
on.
I mean, it's because he's smarter than everybody else. Let's
Sure.
be real. He is so smart. No one's going to figure this out. It's
Okay.
just
Well, that
crazy to
would have
me.
been red flag number one.
Yeah. Yeah. So the police also noticed that he was trying to cover scratches on his arm. He immediately he immediately became the prime suspect in the case and was taken in for questioning. Chris insisted that his wife and kids were alive when he left for the gym, but medical reports indicated that the three were dead by 5:30 a.m., the same time Chris left the house. In the recent months leading up to the murders, Sherry had told friends and family their marriage was on the rocks. He treated her terribly, and if something happened to her, Chris did it.
Oh, there you go.
And when someone tells you something, listen to it. It was her way of reaching out for help, but
Hmm.
she had no idea what to do. And it's scary because it can be scary for someone to hear it because they're like, is this a joke? Is it really that bad? I think she's probably exaggerating. But too many times we hear that,
Yeah.
that the victim was telling people, if something happens to me, I didn't do it to myself. So and so did it. And the story's no different. So Chris had been having an affair with Tara Lentz since 2008, Sherry's best friend since childhood. They had met through Sherry. Chris gave Tara a promise ring and promised to marry her as seen in his endless messages. So this dude is over here courting his wife's best friend and gives her a promise ring to to marry her in the future
Yeah.
while he's married with children to Sherry. What a pig. It just sickens me. But he couldn't keep his good job with a Christian ministry if he left his wife and children for another woman. Chris's boss, Joyce Meyer, had clearly stated that employees divorced would lead to demotion or firing. He wouldn't want to risk losing his high paying job, so he started setting the stage by sending the threatening emails. So,
Okay. But murder's okay?
well, I mean, yeah, because in the Ten Commandments it says, "Thou shalt not murder." But I guess he forgot about that one, or he
Well,
conveniently
I mean,
took
I
it
can't
out.
divorce her, so
We'll just
we'll
kill
just
her.
kill her.
It's crazy to me. Why is that even an
I
option?
don't know. I don't
That should
understand
never
that.
even cross your mind.
Get another job if you're not in love with your wife.
I
Don't
don't
kill
understand.
her.
Exactly. So some of the evidence that pointed to him as the suspect were the CCTV footage from the neighbor's home showed that no one else had entered the house after he left for the gym. There was no other DNA on their bodies apart from Chris. A credit statement revealed that Chris had bought spray paint in the same color as the one used at home. The threatening emails were traced back to an account Chris had set up 6 months before the ordeal. The three died between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. when Chris was still at home. Swear words sprayed on their covers matched Chris's handwriting. The motive behind the trio murders was Chris's affair with Tara.
Okay, so he literally tried to hide nothing.
No, it was almost like he was begging to get caught. But again,
No one's going to check because I'm a good Christian man. I'm just going to go to the gym. And
I mean, I've been getting email threats this whole time, and I'm a Christian man. No one's going to think it's me. I mean, he's smarter than everyone else. It's just crazy to me.
it makes me sick when people hide behind
The cross.
the cross
Hmm.
because that's not what we do.
No.
It makes all of us look bad.
Yes, absolutely. And people don't forget those stories
That's
either.
right.
Meanwhile, Tara had given Chris an ultimatum to leave his wife by May 4th so that they could tie the knot. Chris promised Tara that the divorce papers were ready and his wife would be served the following day when the deadline approached. On Thursday, May 5th, 2011, 2 years to the day after the brutal murders, Chris Chapman was found guilty of 3 counts of first-degree murder and was sentenced to life imprisonment with no possibility of parole. Jurors deliberated 15 hours for over 2 days to decide on his demise. Chris Chapman is now serving his time at Dodge Correctional Institution in Waupun, Wisconsin. He is in the same prison as Chris Watts. He's also in the same prison that Jeffrey Dahmer served time in before he was murdered as well. So Coleman and his attorneys attempted to appeal his prison term yet again, but in January 2015, a judge upheld the conviction and life sentence. In an April 2018 interview with Crime Watch Daily, Chris Coleman maintained his innocence and said he was set up. I mean, he was set up. Of course.
Okay.
It's like, see, he's still smarter than they are.
You literally hid nothing.
Yes.
It is all over you might as well have said, "Hey guys, watch me do this."
Exactly.
And then you're going to say you were set up by who?
Yeah, who set you up?
Yourself?
It was that guy who was sending threatening letters about, Joyce Myers. I mean, this guy's nobody. I mean, yes, he is, protecting Joyce Myers, but other than that, he means nothing out in the Christian community when it comes to, face value. Nobody really knows who he is. They might see him on the side, but they're not paying attention to him. So why would they go in and set him up or kill his wife and kids? Makes no sense to me. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So actually, what never came out in court is I had 2 laptops and I traveled with one and I left the other one either at home or at the office, he said during a phone interview. They were never both on me at the same time, and the one that was connected to the threats was the one that I would leave either at home or at work. On the same program, Pastor Ron Coleman insisted on his son's innocence, adding that an affair would not have been a motive for the murders. Tara was just meeting a need at the time that Sherry wasn't taking care of, he said.
What?
Yes. So let's victim blame.
Okay, so you didn't like her to begin with because she had tattoos and wasn't what you wanted for him, and now it's her fault that he's out cheating?
And it's her fault that he killed her. Okay? I mean, his son's innocent.
Oh, man.
She just wasn't meeting his needs. Is that not nuts? Yeah. That pissed me off so bad. So Ron continued, well, I mean, every man has his desires and every man has to be respected. It's built into every man. If your wife doesn't respect you, then you're going to find the respect someplace else. You know what?
I think he misplaced the word respect with something else.
Yeah, well, fuck off with that shit. Respect goes 2 ways, and screwing around on your wife is no respect. Okay? It's ridiculous. Chris Coleman was a grown-ass man with a family. His job was to protect and love his wife and his kids, and he absolutely did not do that. 100% guilty. Throw the key away. Put him away, throw the key away, put him under the prison. I don't know. Just the dude's worthless, okay? And the fact that his parents would even take up for him just blows my mind. It angers me really bad. So when asked if he thought Sherry was being a bad wife, Ron Coleman responded, just that at that short, brief time she stepped back from doing her job as a wife. Ron, I would just like to know, what is the list of duties that a wife has to do for her husband? What is that? Make a list. she had 2 kids. She needed to take care of them, and Chris needed to take care of the family unit. So it doesn't warrant murder, no matter what she did. The woman was taking care of her family and
It
her
just
husband.
sounds like to me that they just really hated her.
Yes.
Like they don't care that she's dead. She
No.
didn't do her job as Chris's wife.
And then out of all of that, it's not just Sherry that got murdered, but their
They
grandchildren were
don't care
murdered.
because she
No.
had them. Obviously, they did not
Yes.
care about it.
No. It blows my mind. Also in April, attorneys filed a request for a new trial on Coleman's behalf based on a claim of improper evidence, specifically those extra photos jurors discovered that led them to a conviction. A judge granted an evidentiary hearing on March 2019 to move the proceedings forward, but in July of 2020, that same judge denied the appeal for a new trial. Good enough. Deny, deny, deny.
Hang him.
Keep denying. Keep denying. Send him back, throw away the key, deny, deny.
Too many excuses. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And it's just scary. Now, I will say, I'm not sure that Sherry, kind of like Shanann Watts, didn't see the signs of the breakdown until it was kind of too late. And I'm not victim shaming. It's not their fault. The last thing you ever think is that your husband's going to kill you in your sleep.
Right.
But what I am saying is they still trusted their husband, even though they knew things were breaking down. They couldn't figure it out. They thought maybe I'll just try harder. And this is where Sherry was absolutely doing her job. She was still sticking by him, still taking care of the home, still taking care of the boys, probably paying the bills and making sure everything was handled. So when he came home, he had food to eat, bills were paid. And he's over here running around on her with her best friend just to kill her and her kids in their sleep. Like, listen, get out. There is nothing ever worth killing your family for, ever. It's just horrifying to
Well,
me.
yeah, and it wasn't just her, it was his children too.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's almost like his family just forgot about that. I think it was because they just hated her so much they didn't care about any of it.
And they have to defend their own honor because they're ministers. And now their son is in prison and the whole world knows. So they're defending him because they don't want people to see the bad. See, it's all Sherry's fault.
He
If he
still
hadn't
killed him.
if he hadn't married an unevenly yoked woman, this would have never happened. She was wearing them shorty shorts and tattoos on her legs. You know how them women can make them men crazy. I mean, there's so many things that I can just imagine that they feel justified in saying this because of Sherry, and none of it's true. Um, it's horrible. It's horrible. We have got to stop giving these people excuses. And you can love your son. That doesn't mean that you support what they did.
Okay, but I feel like if my child killed my grandchild and I knew that, it would devastate me. That's part of you.
Absolutely.
They're part of you too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I could look at him again,
No. No.
especially not make excuses for him.
Absolutely not. It's just heartbreaking altogether. And what's the most embarrassing part for me, and I don't know, I'm not going to speak for you, but for me, the most embarrassing part of this whole thing is it happened in the Christian community.
Oh, yeah, that's very embarrassing. It
And
makes me angry because it
yes.
makes, Christian people look bad.
Yeah.
Like we're just hiding behind something. That's not what we do.
Just a bunch of fakes. Yeah, at the end of the day. And that's not true. But it's sad. And I wanted to bring this story to y'all. Let me know what you think. I mean, we obviously know he was guilty. But let me know what you think, because this seems to be a rising trend that's happening in our generation. of family annihilators, and they'll take out their whole family and they stay living. Of course, if you want to call in prison living, and they're just selfish. But what are the signs, right? When you start hearing yourself tell someone that if something happens to me, it wasn't me, it was him, get out.
Yeah.
The first moment the hair stands up on your arms and you know that you're in danger, get out. Don't even question it. Don't even stay in that house that night. Pack your bags, pack your kids, leave. Your body lets you know when you're in danger. So if you find yourself thinking that, get out as soon as possible. So, yeah, guys. But drop a note, let us know what you think. But until the next episode, guys, remember to see the good
and
and
stay
stay imperfectly
imperfectly
perfect.
perfect. Bye,
Bye.
guys. Thank
Thank
you.
you.